You might have been thinking about buying or selling a home in the near future, but now you're wondering what effect the current situation with the coronavirus might have on whether or not this is still going to be a good time to make a move. In this video, we'll talk about both the short-term impact that Governor Whitmer's March 17th Stay Home, Stay Safe order is having on the real estate market, as well as possible long-term effects of that order. Click the subscribe button below and the notification bell so you stay informed as the situation changes. First, I'm very much at work and ready to take care of your real estate needs. Please feel free to call or message me at any time so I can help guide you through this process. Let's talk first about what's happening in the short term. Everyone is affected by the stay home order except for critical infrastructure workers. This means real estate agents cannot meet with clients in person, whether to sign paperwork or to list or show homes. Home buyers and sellers are also bound by the governor's order, and you'll want to make sure you stay in compliance so you remain healthy and so you avoid possible penalties. There are certain aspects of real estate operations that can take place right now, such as virtual showings of homes, electronic signings of listing paperwork or purchase agreements, and closings themselves. Also, there are a number of service providers who are able to help keep transactions moving, like home inspectors and appraisers. Some of these functions have changed to reflect the current situation, but transactions are still able to move forward. If you don't have to move right now, you've probably already considered postponing your sale and or purchase until we're out from under the stay-at-home order. The silver lining here is that this situation gives home sellers time to focus on getting their house ready for sale, and home buyers time to get ready to purchase. It's a great time to make those minor repairs around the house, sellers, to paint any walls that need freshening, to declutter and start packing, and to clean, indoors and out. In a nutshell, make sure everything functions the way it's supposed to. This gives buyers confidence that they're purchasing a well-maintained home. Decluttering and cleaning will do more to increase your home's appeal and value than almost anything else, and it will allow buyers to picture themselves moving right in. Very important to today's buyers. Also use this time to research and hire an agent who will be a good fit for you. Home buyers, you can use this time to get pre-approved by a lender for a mortgage. If you plan to pay cash, pull together your bank statements. Either way, you'll need to provide a mortgage pre-approval letter or proof of funds to your agent before you start looking at homes in person. In Michigan, home sellers pay the buyer's agent, so you really want to hire an agent to help you through this process. Whether you're a home seller or buyer, taking these steps now will put you in position to get into the market quickly when things open up again. So now let's take a look at the longer-term implications the coronavirus pandemic might have on the housing market. I've had a number of clients and friends tell me they're worried about a recession or worse due to all this unease. Memories of the Great Recession of 2008 might have come rushing back. Those are not good memories. This is completely understandable. There are many indications, however, that this real estate market is nothing like 2008. Let's take a look at 5 ways today's market and yesterday's are like apples and oranges. First, mortgage standards are nothing like they were back then. During the housing bubble, it was difficult not to get a mortgage. Today, it's a lot tougher to qualify. The Mortgage Credit Availability Index from the Mortgage Bankers Association, which you see here, shows the availability of mortgage credit at a given point in time. The higher the index, the easier it is to get a mortgage. You can see that during the housing bubble, the index skyrocketed. Currently, the index shows how getting a mortgage is even more difficult than it was before the bubble. Second, home prices are not soaring out of control. This graph shows price appreciation over the past 6 years compared to the 6 years leading up to the height of the housing bubble. Though price appreciation has been quite strong recently, it's nowhere near the rise in prices that preceded the 2008 crash. There's a stark difference between these two periods of time. Normal appreciation is about 3.5%, so while our current appreciation is higher than the historic norm, it's certainly not accelerating out of control as it did in the early 2000s. The third way today's market is different from 2008 is that we don't have a surplus of homes on the market. Quite the contrary, we have a shortage. The month supply of inventory needed to sustain a normal real estate market is about 6 months. Anything more than that is a surplus. A surplus of houses for sale will cause prices to decline. It's simple law of supply and demand. A supply of housing inventory that's less than 6 months is a shortage. As it has for the past several years, this shortage will lead to continued price appreciation. As this graph shows, there were too many homes for sale in 2007 compared to demand. That caused prices to tumble. Today, there's still a shortage of houses available for sale. This indicates we'll continue to see price increases in most segments of the housing market. Our fourth factor is that in the early 2000s, houses became too expensive for people to buy. The affordability formula has 3 components: the price of the home, the wages earned by the purchaser, and the mortgage rate available at the time. 14 years ago, prices were high, wages were lower, and mortgage rates were about 6%. Today, prices are still fairly high. Wages have increased, though, and the mortgage rate's around 3.5%. This means the average family pays less of their monthly income towards a mortgage payment than they did back then. And the difference, as you see here, is substantial. In 2008, the average family spent almost a quarter of its monthly income on a mortgage payment. Today, that percentage has dropped to just over 15%. Housing is much more affordable than it was in 2008. Our fifth and last reason is that today homeowners are equity rich, not tapped out. In the run-up to the housing bubble, many homeowners were using their homes like a personal ATM. Once equity in their homes had built up, many people immediately withdrew it. This left them vulnerable when housing prices crashed. Because prices have risen nicely over the last few years, more than half of the homes in the U.S. have greater than 50% equity. But homeowners have not been tapping into that equity like the last time. Now, this chart compares homeowners' equity withdrawals over the past 3 years with those of 2005, 6, and 7. Homeowners have cashed out less than $500 billion less than they did in the early 2000s. So the crash of 2008 really was the perfect storm. As home values began to fall, sellers found themselves in negative equity situations where the amount of money they owed on the mortgage was greater than the value of their home. Many decided to had to walk away from their homes, and that led to a rash of foreclosures and short sales, which sold at huge discounts. This lowered the value of other homes in the area and for quite a long time. This is almost completely unlikely to happen today. In conclusion, yes, it feels like everything is changing right now. But in the not too distant future, we'll enjoy a healthy real estate market. My advice to you is to make sure you can trust the realtor you work with to evolve in her knowledge of the market as this market situation evolves. If you enjoyed this video, would you please take a moment to like and share it? And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If I can help you in any way with real estate, please give me a call. Take care.